January 30, 2025, Dan Grider, probable cause. Here's an update for the video from last night. Very tragic loss in D.C. I'm sure you're all aware of it by now. I made that video last night at 10 p.m. I went out on a limb very, very early, but I very confidently, I said two things. Number one, there'll be no survivors. I don't think there's going to be any survivors. Number two, 100% controller error. No fault of the helicopter, no fault of the jet. I believe the controller error is going to be the problem here. I believe this is purely a controller error. The helicopter didn't do anything wrong. PSA didn't do anything wrong. This is 100% controller ATC error. I'm going to go into that and tell you why. You tell me, if you listen to this video and hear me out to the very end, you tell me why this is not 100% controller error. First of all, the Apache helicopter was on this route called Route 4. I'm going to put a graphic up on the screen here, and this is where it's depicted. The helicopter was supposed to be at 200 feet. They might have been a little bit high, but it doesn't really matter. The helicopter is supposed to be on Route 4 southbound, which should keep them laterally clear. It's a linear separation between DCA landing traffic and the helicopter route. It's a standard route. What happened was, this is called a squeeze play. This controller ended up with an airplane in position on runway 1. It looked like it was going to be close. At the very end, it got to be very close. He called up PSA and said, can you accept runway 33? This is not circle to land. He just said, can you accept 33, which is a totally okay thing to say. It happened because of his error. His timing and his error caused a squeeze play. It looked like it was going to be too close, and it probably would have been. He wants PSA to fix his problem for him. PSA took 22 seconds to answer that question. Can you accept 33? Finally, they came back and said, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, we can do 33 for Blue 6342.
When PSA said, yeah, we can do that, they swung out to the right. Now, here comes the helicopter southbound, exactly dead center on Route 4 in the middle of the magenta line, southbound at his altitude, at his speed. The helicopter and the airplane are on two separate frequencies. It's VHF, UHF. The PSA guys never even knew that there was another helicopter out there. The helicopter did not have ADS-B, so they couldn't see him. This airplane, the PSA, it swings out wide to the right. I'm going to put it up on the screen here. Here's your graphic for it. You can see the first yellow line to the left there, to the west. That's the straight-in River Visual runway 1 that they were originally set up for. They eventually swung out to the right, and here's the impact point. This circle, this red circle is where they hit. Notice the blue line, that is Route 4. That's the helicopter Route 4. That is the impact point. The helicopter was in the middle of their route, at their altitude, at their speed. They were doing the correct thing. Now, the other video I'm going to put up on the screen here is the actual ATC. This is what the controller would have seen in the cab. The tower controller has an obligation to separate airplanes, an absolute obligation to not bend metal and spill blood. He didn't do it. He had this warning. This warning stayed on his screen for 16 seconds. I'm showing it to you right now. See this red CA? That's conflict alert, conflict alert. It's an oral warning, a visual. He looked at it. He saw it. Whenever a controller sees this, it's his obligation to say these words. It's not disputable. He has to say, traffic alert, turn left immediately. You can't negotiate and try to get this airplane to buy off on a visual separation. And do you see him? And can you maintain visual separation? You got a conflict alert. You have to separate the airplanes right now. He did not do it. It's his job to say the words, traffic alert, turn left immediately. It would have fixed it. He could have sent PSA around. He could have said traffic alert, but he did not. All he did was he called the helicopter back to see if he could get him to bite off again a second time on going on tape and maintaining the responsibility for visual separation, which it wasn't the helicopter's job. I'm still not sure the language on how this came down, whether they're asking, can you maintain visual separation, or do you see the other airplane? I'm not sure that the helicopter ever understood his responsibilities of what he was trying to avoid and what he was trying to see. In any case, this is the ATC absolutely boxed himself into a corner. He caused this in the first place with a squeeze play, swinging this guy out to the right. He flew this guy. He gave, it's almost a radar vector directly towards the helicopter, requiring him to do a visual. Is there anything wrong with the visual for 33? To give an airplane or request an airplane to go 33? No, there's nothing wrong with that, but you can't have a helicopter on Route 4 at the same time doing it. Absolutely, this entire thing is crazy. Now, Trump, as of this morning, he went on the radio and on TV here. He's named a new administrator, temporary acting administrator, which is all well and good, and I appreciate that. I'm going to give you the credentials. The guy's name is Chris Rocheleau. He's an acting director. Trump is looking for a current position I want you to know in the last 3 days I threw my name in the hat to be the FAA administrator. Will it work? Probably not. It's okay. We'll have a little bit of fun with it, but I'm going to throw my name in the hat. So far, 2,500 of you have signed my petition to get Trump to notice Dan Grider for the position of FAA administrator. I would love to do it. Is it possible? Maybe. Certainly not under Biden, but I can tell you right now, under Trump, anything is possible. And I can tell you right now, if I was in there, it would be bloody. It would absolutely be bloody, and I would fix some stuff. But I can tell you this for sure. It's going to be bloody either way. If you put Dan as administrator of the FAA, it's going to be bloody. If you don't put Dan in as administrator, it's going to be bloody. I want you to sign this petition for me. Please leave a comment. This is our first disaster, our first on-soil disaster of a Part 121 airplane. Number 2, number 3, and number 4 are scheduled. They're going to be right behind it. We have so many ATC policy problems and things going on. This guy, Chris, that is the acting administrator for the FAA, he's not even a pilot. He is literally not even a pilot. He was the COO of the National Business Aircraft Association for a few years. He's held several positions, all administrative within the FAA. He's an Air Force guy, never flown an airplane. So there's your problem. You haven't fixed anything yet. I'm going to get out of here and get this video up and on the air. This is my conclusion. I know you're going to hate me for it. This is 100% ATC error. Whoever this guy was, he should be in my office tomorrow morning, and we're going to talk about this. You caused this, young man. You absolutely caused this fatality.